Hey guys, as you can see, I'm getting a pretty good start for once, usually in the back of the pack. But this one I came out of the first turn in third place, and I wind up moving to second place up here in a couple of turns. The guy in front of me on the Kawasaki, he must stall it in this right-hander coming up. So I get around him, and then I get passed by one guy, and I stay in third for most of this race until last lap, last section. Then I get a train ran on me, and I wind up in fifth place, so pretty respectable still. Really wish I just pushed harder, but I didn't go out for practice, and I'll never do that again because the sight lap really helps me loosen up. Also gets you familiar with the track, but it was just raining so hard that I decided to skip it. I didn't want to be soaking wet and then have to race. I mean, looking back, I was soaking wet anyway from sitting on the start line. But anyway, yeah, now you can see I'm in second. I rode pretty decent, but I didn't feel great the entire day, really. And it's not an excuse, just, I don't know, just wasn't feeling myself. Didn't get into a flow at any point. I felt like I was riding, like tiptoeing through the course. Great course, really well marked. So it wasn't anything to do with that. It was just the conditions kept changing, and I was running a set of roll-offs that didn't work. I tested them at the truck. I thought they worked. Then the first pull I went to go do, nothing. Didn't get any clear vision. So yeah, I had pretty dirty goggles. Luckily, I was alone for most of this race, so I didn't really have a problem getting roosted very much, even with the guys I passed from other classes. So that was good. But yeah, and I didn't get, oh, here's a nice mud pit. Wasn't too many mud sections, but the couple that there were pretty gnarly in the fact that every lap there was someone stuck, and not stuck a little bit, like one guy, he had to leave his bike. It was up to the gas tank. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any video of that. Once I'm done just talking through this section, I'm not going to show the entire race. I'll just do some highlights because it was a pretty boring race, to be honest with you, for me, because I was alone most of the time. So I don't think you want to watch, an hour of me just cruising around the track. But if you do, let me know in the comments, and I can always just do an upload of full race video. It's not the full race, it's half of the first lap, and it'll be half of the third lap. So yeah, and as you can see here with the camera, it was wet. It had a lot of mud on it. That's another reason, so it wasn't great views for you guys. But I did want to just touch on a couple of points. So conditions were changing. First lap, it was pretty it was a sandy base, excuse me. And with all this rain, it was perfect conditions for that because it wasn't loose and deep. It was nice and compact. So that part was great. Watch, yep, right here. Looking for an alternate line, and the guy falls right into it. Just my luck for that. But the guy was nice enough. I don't know if they were riding together. He let me by. So that was one less guy I had to pass. And coming up shortly, I think, this was fun. Like, I love the tight sections. I always wish there was a lot more tight and technical sections. I'm not a huge fan of the wide open sections. It's a good rest, I guess, but I'd rather do a lot of technical riding. So yeah, I get around this guy. I'm trying to look. There's one spot I want to point out before we move on to a different video. But this section right here. So first wide open section, right? Get on the brakes, watch my bars. Almost went full lock. The rear stepped out soon as I hit the brakes. And luckily, I like practicing backing it into corners because my practice for doing that came in really handy because I almost thought I wasn't going to make that turn. It was so slick. But yeah, worked out. Probably was a pretty good show for the guy behind me because he was probably like, oh, this kid's going down. But yeah, I'll probably check out right here, coming up to this guy. I get around him in a little bit, but after that, there wasn't much going on. So I'll check back in when there's something worth noting. This section right here, I'm sorry about the camera, but I just wanted to put this in because if you look through the water droplets in mud, I don't know if you can see some of these huge palmetto roots. You see a guy down right here, but these were brutal. Actually, it wasn't too difficult to get through this section. I just put my weight back, got on the gas, and kept the front wheel light, and I wasn't clinching the bike very tightly with my legs, which didn't help with my freaking arm pump. But yeah, that section right there caught a lot of people out because those roots were slick with all the rain. So I just wanted to put that mention in about that. So here's, just wanted to put this clip in. This is first lap. This is where I get past and puts me from second to third place. So coming through here, through the trees. Again, this is where if I did a practice lap, I wouldn't have lost this time. So I come through these double greens and my eyes go to the double arrows to the right. Hill. So I stop and go, damn, am I going the wrong way? And I get past. So I believe that was number 1C. I don't know, but it would make sense because I believe, I don't have it on video, but I think he gets stuck in the mud up ahead and I get by him again. I just wanted to throw that in there. All right, so this is just under halfway point of the third lap. So third and final lap, as you can see on this tree to the right here, fifth mile 5. I think we're somewhere in 11, 12 miles total, something like that. I don't remember what it actually was, total mileage per lap. The perfect example of how I was riding. Look at this. Wide open. What am I doing? I'm just kind of cruising. Pretty tired, but not like exhausted. Just, I don't know, wasn't pushing. I think I just became complacent because I didn't really see anybody behind me, didn't hear anybody. So I'm just kind of cruising. Never cruise in a race. I know this, but don't know. But this is my downfall. Doing this, and then you'll see later on. I'll come back when we're in the mud pits, rolling through there. So I'll check back in. So this section right here, there's a root diagonal across with a huge rut. Right, so slow down for that. Working my way through the palms here, and then look at this field, giant mud pit, and it doesn't look bad on video, but you can see I went sideways right there just trying to get on the gas. It was super slick. You can see the mud flying off my tires here. So now it had started picking up raining again on my last lap towards the end, and so that was one mud pit. But that was a field, wasn't so bad. We still have yet to go through the deep mud holes. And first 2 laps after the mud hole, I'll check back in. But just to give you guys an idea what's coming up, it looked like perfect dirt, but it was like slick clay. And I almost crashed same spot twice. Once by going to the right, like both wheels sliding out from under me. The second lap, I must have touched the rear brake, and my friggin' rear end came around to the left, and so far to the point that I thought I was losing it, and luckily I stabbed the peg, my left peg, and it dug the rear tire and it regained traction. So got lucky on that one, but we'll check in when I can get to that big mud hole. But why I signed on here just to show you this clip is we're at mile 9 there. I'm being cautious, I'm tiptoeing. So instead of really picking up my pace and charging the last lap, I was being way too cautious. All right, so this is where we're getting to mud section. So this is not the mud pit, but this is really slick. Should have went to the inside, stayed to the outside, don't know why. And now here's the mud pit. So this stuff is really deep. So I go around the outside, left of this tree, look to my right. This poor dude is to the bottom of his gas tank, stuck. He had to get pulled out, I believe. I don't think he ever made it out. Anyway, so I'm really losing a ton of time through this stuff. I'm skiing at this point. I got both feet out.
Oh man, this stuff is super slick.
Just heard me say super slick. So both feet out, just trying to stay up. I've honestly never really experienced mud like this. Deep, yes, all that. But I don't know what made it so slick. Like any little bit and just wanted to wash out from under you. And so I had mentioned before there was a section, and I don't know where it was, past that mud pit. And it wasn't because my tires were caked up with mud. One of these sections is really slick, and I almost lost it. First lap and second lap. So now third lap, I'm a little more tired. Like I'm not playing around. I'm gonna just tiptoe through this section until I get a reference point of like, all right, now I know that real slick spot was gone. You're gonna hear someone starting to yell behind me, and I think this is my class. Turns out it's not. It was an A rider. So yeah, I thought I dropped another position right here, but I didn't. I wind up losing position next video, next section, I guess I'll say. You hear him yell coming up. First yell.
Go!
Yelled again, so I said, go! I wasn't taking my hands off the bars. And I think right there was a super slick spot. So now I'm like, okay, I know we're past that. And I'm thinking, I just made a big mistake. That guy's in my class. I can't let him go. But I quickly realized, I was like, oh no, he can't be my class. If he is, he's a sandbagger because he's ripping. He just leaves me in the dust. But anyway, I'll check back in. So as you can see, raining again. Can't see anything. This is no tear-offs, big mud ruts, and I was riding super cautious. So I'm gonna get past coming up here in a second, just once we get out into the field here. So it's a big muddy section again, but not like big mud holes, but super cautious because it's like, don't know if that guy was in my class. So I get past there, and I think by 3 other people, and only one of them were in my class to put me back into 5th place. So yeah, these holes are getting pretty big, but nothing bad. I mean, the course held up pretty good, to be honest with you. Some more big holes here. Just trying to pick a rut and go through it so I don't get cross-rutted. And then at this point, you can hear bikes behind me. I'm coming to another muddy section. Poor line selection on my part. Oh, no, this isn't the muddy section, I'm sorry. It's coming up in a minute. It's just a note until we get there. It's kind of what I've noticed between my 4-stroke and 2-stroke. I coast way too much on the 2-stroke. Here's the muddy section. Should have went to the right. after this. Like, see, should have cut straight across to the right. Instead, I'm taking a long way around. And then here we go. That guy, and I think one more guy gets me. But only one of these guys are in my class. I think it was the second guy who passed. I think that was a green plate. But anyway, that's pretty much how it ends. I stay in this fifth place position to the end. We're right there. I mean, I passed mile 11 back there, so yep, it's got to be just short of 12 miles. So here's the last little chicane coming through, really tight, slippery, and I'm beat. And I can see all the guys who just passed me. I was pissed. And so it tells me 5th place right there as I pass. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.